going on, world? This is another episode of the KNOBHEADS, and we are your hosts, Charlie Miller and
David Ekunno.
Yes, and today is going to be probably the best episode that
It's gonna be the best episode. Stop it, man. I don't like this probably stuff you play with, man.
I gotta say this because we could make a better one next time.
Yeah. Until then, though, this is the best episode.
Why you always gotta debate me? That's your goal in life. That is your goal in life.
That was my 2020 resolution, actually. Thank you for
exactly. It's to fuck with me.
Thank you for bringing that up.
It's to fuck with me. No, but on a
Thank you for bringing that up. Something that your height hasn't done for a while.
Here we go.
What did you?
Here we go. See, I feel like you dug deep for that one. You dug deep for that short joke.
Dude, I came back around and I got that one, huh?
Exactly.
I came back around, man.
No, but
took a U-turn.
On a more serious note, unfortunately, I hate to, because we like to joke around on this podcast a lot, but I hate to start it off like this, but it has to be addressed. We're actually going to be talking about the recent passing of Kobe Bryant, actually, who tragically died in a helicopter accident with 8 other passengers, including his daughter, Gianna. So, yeah, that happened Sunday, and I think it's fair to say the world was pretty devastated in general by that news. It came so unexpectedly. I don't know about y'all, but I definitely it was one of those things where I didn't believe it was real.
Yeah.
Like, when I first heard it, I was like, nah. Like, somebody told me, I was like, okay, there's another rumor. Like, not Kobe Bryant. Like, I had to go to my phone and search 3-4 different sources before I believed it. Like,
yeah, it did seem very surreal. I mean, I believed it was real, but it just didn't feel like it should have happened. Probably because it was kind of an accident, or like a freakish accident. Like, he wasn't an old person. He had a lot of life to live. He was incredibly influential. I don't even follow basketball. I'm British. You know, American football and basketball are sports that I've never really cared too much for. But him as an individual I don't know much of him, but I've seen him in adverts and I've seen him in interviews, and for whichever reason, it was still quite a visceral effect on me as well, and my brother. Because he has a mentality, you know, that kind of transcends basketball. It's something that anyone can learn from. It's the, you know, be the best, work hard, have good work ethic, and put positivity into the world. And the guy's only 41, and something that tragic kind of occurs, and it sobers you. It makes you realize that this life is real and it can end at any time. And we need to really consider that on a day-to-day level instead of just waiting for something tragic to happen to re-realize that. And take things more seriously and take people around you more seriously and start being more gracious for the people you have around you.
Definitely. Major blow to LA in general, again, because of course less than a year ago Nipsey Hussle passed, major figure inside LA as well. Speaking of California, though, we actually have a guest who spent a lot of time in California with us today. If you want to introduce yourself.
Hi guys, my name is Carmalita. On social media platforms, it's Carmafornia. I am not an LA native, but my family is there and I've lived there for quite a bit of time. I'm new to Houston. So yeah, the hit really, you know, impacted me pretty largely, being, you know, an LA local now and then being away from it. It's just kind of like not only all over my timelines, but it's just a big cultural hit, you know. So
Is it one of those things like with Michael Jackson? Like, y'all know they say like everybody remembers where they were when Michael Jackson died. Like,
I don't.
I do.
I don't.
That's crazy.
It was a big deal, but go on.
It was a sophomore in college. It was during summer school.
Do you remember, like, location-wise? What?
Yeah.
Yep, I was in the dorm. It was in summer school. And everyone was just kind of like, what? And so it was just like, you know, there's like a wafting of just like energy that's like heavy. It's like whether or not you were like an MJ fan, you're like, oh crap, you know who he is culturally and like what he meant to music and the industry. And so it's just kind of like it takes a hit. And so it's kind of like an energy shift. And I think that's the major thing about Kobe is that whether or not people are sports fans or they're from LA, it's like a cultural shift because everyone is grieving. And so someone you know is a big Kobe fan or played basketball or it impacted you in a way, whether it was his work ethic, the kind of father he was or husband he grew to be. Someone is impacted by that. And so like as a collective, we're all mourning from that. And so it's like we're bouncing energy off of everyone, whether or not we were, you know, largely impacted by Kobe ourselves. So I think the same thing happened, you know, with MJ or with Prince, or for me last year when Toni Morrison passed, that was like major for me as a writer. I think it's just when these large figures dies, we feel it as a culture.
So you're a writer?
Yes, sir.
Because you're really good with words.
Am I?
I noticed that. And then you said you're a writer, and I was like, click.
Yes.
What do you write?
I'm a creative writer by education. Currently, I'm a grant writer at a women's center. But I write poetry, essays, stories. I've ghostwritten a book. I write everything.
Tight.
Thanks.
Where can we find your work?
You can Google me. My name is Carmelita Wilson.
I'm going to spell that wrong, you guys.
Carmalita, not M-E.
Oh, man.
So you'll find Carmelita Jeter. I am not that good at track. That's with an I. So I'm Carmalita, C-A-R-M-A, darling.
Oh, A.
Yes, Carmelita Wilson.
Okay.
And then my Huffington Post piece is as Carmelita Jackson. Carmelita Wilson's my maiden name. Carmelita Jackson is the other name I had. But yeah, so I have 2 essays published online. One about...
Did I spell that right?
Yes, sir, that's me right there.
Okay.
Author at Invoke. Just about like cultural things, whether it be hair or racial tension, just, you know, whatever.
What's been the thing you've wrote about that you've, I guess, had the most passion in? Maybe because it's close to home or because it's just something that interests you so much?
I think my first essay that I got published on the Huffington Post, it was about my ex-husband, and he got into...
Yeah, I was like, look, we both did.
So okay. I will be 30 next week, and...
we almost cracked our necks when she said that, just FYI, because this isn't a video recorded. But yes, go on.
Yeah, so I know that I look really young, but I am not.
You look very young.
Yes, no, sir. I'll be 30 next Wednesday. Feel free to tell me happy birthday now.
Happy birthday in advance, Carmalita.
I got married at 22, like 6 months after my undergrad, because I'm from a small town, and that's what people do from small towns. They marry the guy they're dating in college.
Yeah.
But at the time that I wrote the essay, I was in grad school, and my ex got into this really bad accident. And when I got the phone call that a car actually just drove into Chipotle, I assumed that when I heard he'd been hurt, it was something in relation to like racial violence or like racial tension, because it was a few days after the Charleston shooting where, you know, the guy shot up, 9 church members.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like tension in the world at the time, I feel like, or at least in our country. And so it just kind of hit me that my initial reaction was, it's my turn now. Like if you're a black person or you love a black person or a person of color, it's kind of like expected, like even, to connect with Kobe Bryant, it's like when tragic things happen, we don't expect helicopter, crashes to happen, but we do expect there to be like racial issues, and so.
Do you think that's a real effect of what's going on, or do you think it might be something that's propagated from the media?
So Ta-Nehisi Coates said that, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he said that it's not the cameras that are new, or it's not the violence that is new, it's the cameras that are new.
Yeah.
So one would think that it's because the media is perpetuating this idea that there is police brutality or there is lots of racial tension in the country, because it's not always just like the cops against black folks. It's like our own peers against us, right? So it's like, it's not that it's a new thing. Sorry, the little whimpering you guys hear is my little dog. But it's not that it's a new thing. I think that people are just more vocal about it or more open about it.
Sure.
So when I wrote the essay, my professor encouraged me to do it while it was fresh. And so I just made the connection of where I was in the world, in connection with where other people were, like with other shootings and things like that. So that was like the hardest hit for me and like the most passionate thing I've written about, because I thought he was gonna die. You have a huge hit to the head, like literally the wall fell on him, like her car drove. It was just some crazy lady wasn't paying attention, maybe texting and driving, who knows. She drives her car into like a pretty busy Chipotle in Los Angeles.
Damn, how long was she looking at her phone?
Who knows? Who knows? But he happened to be standing in line.
That's a big blunder.
And he got hit. So yeah, it's like when someone close to you is affected by something like that, it makes you, think. And even with like Kobe Bryant, it's not so much so that we knew him or, we're that close to him. It's the fact that like it reminds us that like death is real, that life is short, like, oh,
it can come for anybody.
Anytime. Like no matter how much money you have, he flew the helicopter because he wanted, like literally he didn't fly it, but he took helicopters because he wanted to be more accessible to his family. He didn't want to sit in traffic. So he had the means to do this. And so that was like a part of his routine, is being able to go back and forth to his camp, which is like way out in, BFE. And then this tragic thing happens. And so it reminds us that like, no matter who you are, like, death comes to everybody, and it kind of sucks, but it's, just reminds us that we're human.
I mean, that's a good thing that I'm glad you kind of segued into, because mortality in general is something that I honestly think that this generation just seems to forget. Like, I think that like it's a problem. Like, it's almost like people think they're gonna live forever, or they think that the things they're doing right now isn't gonna affect their future. Like, so I don't understand like nowadays why people our age or around our age, or well, I mean, I'm like older than y'all, so I'm like an old man, so I don't understand why people around y'all age are the look on David's face. I don't understand why people around y'all age think that y'all are Superman, and like that things just like this doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
like,
I think I know why. I think it's because we're what's known as like the popcorn generation or the microwave generation. Everything is so immediate. We have access to so many things, and so mortality doesn't seem like it's going to hit us because we have so much connection to things that people didn't have before. Like, we have so much, like, there aren't very many boundaries between us and celebrities. Like, there are so many lines that can be crossed because we have so much access to people. So people think like death can miss us because you have like children who become like YouTube stars now, or like, you know, people just have so much more access than they did years prior, where it's like it's easy to believe that, you know, we're immortal because it's like everything seems that we can get it so quickly, we can have whatever we want whenever we want, but at the end of the day, that's not the case.
Almost like obstacles and hardships are synonymous with death and whatnot, and because of the time we live in, like you said, easy access to so many things, and like we have these overnight celebrities and overnight stars and things given to you, the world given to you overnight. Like Lil Nas X last year, literally like scraping up change to eat pizza and stuff and all that, and now like winning Grammys and all that. So it's like, oh, like I can do anything. The world is my oyster and whatnot.
So how could you not feel immortal?
Right. That makes sense. That makes sense, actually, when you put it like that. I mean, I don't know what you think, David.
I think young people have always felt that way. I think regardless of the era that they're in, if you're young and you have relatively good health, you probably feel immortal, because there's no real indicator of your forthcoming mortality. Do you know what I mean? Unless, of course, you're, you know, someone who's in the industrial times and you're really working out there, I don't know, like every fucking day for 16 hours and you feel like, you know, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe if you really feel, you can feel your human energy when you're doing things like working on a field 8 hours a day or 10 hours a day kind of thing, because, I don't know, I guess you're more in touch with your humanity that way. I don't know. That's, I guess, speculation on my part, but I do think forever people have felt that way just because they're young.
That makes sense, yeah. Just think about like,
because that's the narrative.
Woodstock, for sure. Think about like hippies and stuff. Like the people.
Oh yeah,
right.
yeah.
I think it's an age thing probably. Like,
yeah.
Of course, and I'll say we because we're relatively young. Like feel like death.
Well, y'all are
only
relatively young.
First of all, you're an infant, okay? Like you're a
Don't
child.
say it. Don't say it.
Don't say look like one too. What should I say? Keep going.
But that's real. It's like you think death, you think old age, you think, you know, a life lived.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
For, you know, death to come to, you know, anybody is like, you know, yeah, you're right. So I think it's definitely probably an age thing. Like, I don't want to say immaturity, naivety. Like, that's probably what that is. Like,
I do think one thing, I think for sure in this era, we don't grow up as quickly. I think back in the day, it is more commonplace to be like 18 or 21 or 22 and get married and be thinking about family at that stage. But nowadays, it's like, because you did say we have these other resources and because we just live longer, life expectancy is so much longer.
Absolutely.
Also, you know, different factors of our life have become longer, like childhood is now reaching into our 20s and
oh god,
you know, and we're children until like we're 27, like me.
No, for real. Like, I have peers and whatnot who are like not getting married until their late 20s or early 30s. People not having kids till their early 30s and whatnot and stuff. Like,
I mean, that's fine too.
Yeah.
But it is, yeah, it's just the general narrative of what it is to be a human being in this world, or in America, I should say, has kind of changed. And when the average person gets married a bit later, the average person actually commits to a real relationship a little bit later, has kids a bit later, thinks about getting a house a bit later. So
you know what I'm liking though? I'm liking it feels like, to me at least, maybe because I'm living up in this era, it feels like people are more ambitious with their dreams nowadays up in this era than it seemed like. Because I feel like people around our age, they're not like just gonna settle for like whatever is just right there and like kind of handed to them, like, oh no, well, I guess I'll work this desk job, or oh no, I guess I'll just go ahead and work at this factory and stuff. More people are out there, I guess, because more opportunities with technology is out there, so they're like, nah, like, I want to go out and I want to do acting. I want to go out there and I want to do freelance writing. I want to go out there and I want to do freelance coding or anything like that. Like, I think with this era, with our generation and whatnot, a lot more dreams are being like fought after hard, because the end of the day, like, I mean, you gotta fight hard for them. Dreams die on lazy legs.
a great man once posted about on Instagram.
No, an asshole once posted about it on Instagram.
Both
dreams die on lazy
what
legs.
does it mean?
So if you don't work hard enough, your dreams will die, basically.
I disagree.
If you don't work hard enough, your dreams will die. You disagree with that?
Absolutely.
So you don't have to work hard for your dreams to come true.
I completely believe that.
Oh, hit me.
So I do not adhere to the ideology that we have to work hard to get what we want. I think it's about alignment and what you believe, and, you know, like, everything is about timing. So
I like this. I don't like working hard, so please.
No, in real life, like, I sleep so much. I like to think I'm kind of like a lion, because lions sleep like 19 hours a day, and if given the chance, I would. But I think that capitalism pushes this idea that you have to work, you have to work, you have to work. You have to, like, you know, push and grind. But in all actuality, you're working against yourself, because you work so hard at whatever it is. So let's say, you know, like, whatever your interest is. If you're not taking the time to rest and actually take care of yourself, are you really putting that, you know, towards your dreams? Yeah. But it's like, I'm not against, like, you know, being passionate about something, or I need another term for work hard. Like, you can be passionate about something. Like, of course, people, like, because we're talking about Kobe Bryant, like, yes, he was a very hard worker. Yeah. But then I think that, you know, once you get to a certain point, you also realize, like, what's important. And so because he had the means, what was important to him was his family. So he's like, all right, this is how I'm going to figure out how to make, you know, because it wasn't just it for him with basketball. Like, because I am, you know, from Los Angeles recently, it's like, I have a different mentality than a lot of people in Houston. Like, I'm not about, like, the 9 to 5 and then, you know, no, it's like, so after basketball for Kobe, just like after basketball with LeBron, like, LeBron's move to LA wasn't strictly for basketball. Like, he had so many more opportunities as far as, like, in the entertainment industry and how to set himself up for his goals outside of basketball. So it's just like, you
Thinking
cannot
about the next action after his career
absolutely
in basketball.
Yeah. And I genuinely believe you cannot do all these things and set yourself up unless you are resting. Like, one of my favorite pages on Instagram is called the Nap Ministry, and it's about, like, revolution in resting, because you cannot be your best self if you're not rested. So the ideology that you have to work hard, to me, is bullshit, because you have to work smart, you have to work what's best for you. And for me, like, working hard is like driving across the country by myself and writing about it, or it's sleeping for a month in New York because I can, you know, like that's working hard for me because I'm getting the rest I need. So when I do accidentally move to Houston and get like my first full-time big girl job, I'm not like completely like out of my mind because I've just been grinding and grinding and grinding. When you grind, you take away from yourself. So all of that to say, like, working hard is bullshit. Like, work smarter, work with passion, work with love, work with patience, but like working hard. Like, think about like, are you an athlete?
No.
Okay.
Short answer, no. I play soccer.
Okay, well, I mean, any kind of like whatever, like you need time to rest. Like the way you
Sure.
build muscle is like you break down that muscle and then you give it time to rest and like swell up.
Yeah.
But if you like work every single day, 7 days a week, all day long, you're gonna exhaust your body. Your muscles are gonna tear. You're gonna be prone to injuries because you're not resting. So if all you know is working hard.
Yeah, I can see that point. So
But
it's
I
more
feel
about
like-
balance.
Yeah, but
It's
thank
balance.
you. I was just saying, like,
so-
so you're using that as an example.
Because
like,
I
there's more-
completely, I think you also
balance.
completely agree with what she said. But in those times where you're not resting, you're working hard at your craft. You're making sure that you get better every single day.
Yeah.
What Kobe did to go to LA, I mean, that's a smart move. But also, you have to work hard to also, you know, cultivate those other
For sure.
incomes or those other hustles, if you want to call it that. But yeah, so I guess why it came to mind for me to say what is it? Dreams down lazy legs is because at least a lot of people around me in my circle in this time, it feels like the balance. It is about balance, right? It's about working hard but the right things. But it feels like a lot of people are the bit that they're missing is the hard work or knowing that you have to. We don't have to, but it's a good idea to like chase your dreams a little bit more fervently or be a bit more persistent because we are in that era where we do expect things like quickly and tomorrow or next week. But a lot of the times to really build and cement your dreams to get to a place where you can actually post those Instagram photos and it's a real reflection of your life.
Absolutely.
It takes years.
For sure.
So yeah, that's probably where where it came from for me.
No, I think
But I
you can
concede
also
your point.
like. I don't think that because I mean I can for sure sleep for days and be lazy, but I can also like, you know, you just have to be intentional with your
Yes,
rest
intention's a big thing.
is the thing.
You have to mean what you're fucking doing. Because you do get, or people can get into the rut where they're just working hard at something that they don't really want to do, and they're going through the motions of a life they don't really want to live, and that's hard work, but it's dumb work. Yeah,
dying.
that is dying.
I mean, that's that old expression. I think Drake even said it in the song, like everybody dies, but not everybody lives.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Do you think Drake came up with that saying?
That's why I said no. He said it in the song. Like somebody came up with it though, but
We didn't come up with it.
nah, he ain't come
You're
up
gonna
with
get
that
that
shit.
tattoo. Dash Drake. You crazy.
Oh Lord. No, but I mean, there's a lot of truth up in there. I mean, like a lot of people nowadays are just going through the motions. I feel like I was saying earlier, like about like back in the day or whatever. I feel like just more people are like, or more people were back in the day. Just let me do this, and let me do that, because this is what is expected of me and stuff. Instead of actually doing your passion that you want to do. So.
For sure. What does your passion? Your passion is rap music. Is there anything else that you want to do, like that's big before you die? When you think about doing things before you die, what comes to mind for you?
I in general just want to be a positive influence on the world. Whether that's, I think my greatest gift that I can see so far
Is music.
is through music. You know, speaking about different things and my experiences also through music. But I also, you know, of course, as you know, like a little bit of acting and whatnot, poetry. Yeah.
Are these things you want to explore? Think about yourself on your deathbed.
Right.
And you have no more life, and
Right.
things that you need to have done, you need to have explored, you need to have been involved in, or you need to have, because you have these gifts, of course, and you don't want to leave without them being tapped into. What kind of things come to mind when you think that?
I mean, you probably gonna think I'm crazy, but literally everything. Like
Everything.
I wanna slide inside my grave, like just completely
Sound like a DM.
with an empty tank. Like I did every single fucking thing that I
Okay.
could possibly want to do in my life, and I did it to the best of my ability that I could do. Like I said, whether it's acting, whatnot, going inside clothing lines and stuff, and women's perfume and whatnot, even like doing
women's perfume.
Yeah, women's perfume, men's cologne, all that. Even volunteering, like helping build wells and whatnot in Africa, like just literally every single thing I can possibly do. Like, I just want to be able to say I really, really like lived a full life. So that's me.
Carmelita.
Yes, dear.
What's on your list? Things that you have to do before you die.
I just want to be at peace, you know? Like, in real life, somebody asked me this week, like, oh, you're turning 30 next week. Like, what are your goals? And I was like, honestly, I live a very lit life. Like, I think it's beautiful to think about the future. And, you know, I want to be a literary rock star. Absolutely. Like, the awesome thing about being a writer is that, like, as long as, you know, no one, like, conquers America and, like, burns all of our books, like, you know, people have done throughout history, my words will never die. However, it's most important for me that I die at peace, you know? And so it's like, it's great to connect to people, but I feel like at this very moment, let's say if I die tomorrow, then I know that I was the best person to my friends or my family or my dog or like the women I impact at my job. Like right now, in my present life, I'm working really, really hard to be at peace with myself and the people around me. And so presently, that's my thing.
What at the moment would you say is your least point of peaceful alignment? Yeah.
My least point. Why do you have to make me uncomfortable? Let's see. My least point of peaceful alignment would be...
Is it a person or is it something that you...
Houston.
Only
because...
we are not...
Listen,
no,
the only thing
we
is because I accidentally moved to Houston.
How does that happen?
No, in real life. So I
do not endorse this message, Houston. Just so y'all know,
I
ride with y'all to the fucking end.
Here's the thing. I don't know Houston
I'm not even
yet.
from here, so
I've just met this person in Houston. But
when did you come in, by the way?
I got here October 31st. Like
okay,
literally.
So it's been
touchdown.
It's been
Yeah,
like 2-3
that
months.
night. And so I didn't have a plan. My plan was to finish my book of poems and essays and like help out my best friend with her child. And then I was like, well, since I'm going to be here for a little bit, let me just like see what's out there for me. And so apparently there were a lot of, you know, like writing positions available. And I applied for the grant writing position where I am right now. So very quickly I went from being this like world traveling, you know, vagabond where I'm like just going wherever. Like I've just experienced so much in the last 2 years. Like I've been backpacking through Spain. I've been to Africa.
Been to London?
Like, I've not been to London because
cool. Keep going.
It's that just, you know, I love the accent, so maybe, you know, I'll have to, you know, I haven't been there though. Anyway,
It's all right.
But yeah, so I literally was a wanderer for 2 years, and then I got like slapped in the head with like a full-time job and responsibilities. While it's something that I wanted and I'm very passionate about, I'm still finding my footing in Houston, and I don't know the city yet. As to where in Los Angeles, that was home for me. So it's difficult to be new to a place and to start a new job and to like try to find an apartment that I love in an area, you know, that's like in the middle of nowhere. So it's like, that's where I'm not at peace right now. It's like I haven't found home in Houston yet.
It's nice that it's cheap though, huh?
That's very nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Compared to California.
But here's the thing about Los Angeles though, is you make it work. Like it's not even like it's always a conversation for sure, but you always make it work. Whether you have to get a couple extra jobs, you have to get a roommate, whatever, and you get used to the price. Like at 22 when I got there, I did not think that I would ever get used to paying X amount of dollars in rent. But, you know, the cost of living is higher, so you get paid a little more.
Yeah.
And you always make it work, you know? So it's like, I don't know. I have to fall in love with Houston. So if anybody has any suggestions or ideas of reasons or why, like, you know, ways I can fall in love with this city. But yeah, that's where I'm not at peace right now is in this place in Texas.
I mean, I've always thought that wherever anybody is at, even if you're a native to Houston or whatever, I feel like it's all about the people you surround yourself with is going to make your experience. Like, that's my opinion, at least. I mean, you're not from Houston either. What do you think, David?
No, I'm not.
You're not from Houston?
No, actually. No.
This isn't a fake accent?
No, I mean, it's a fake accent. I watch a lot of James Bond movies, so that's where I get it from.
What do you think, you Idris Elba? Exactly. You think you Idris Elba, nigga.
I could be, man. I could be. I don't know. I mean, I like... Ask the question one more time so I can actually go on.
So, do you believe that it's the people you surround yourself with that make the experience of where you're at?
Oh, yeah. For sure, yeah. Because I mean, I miss London, but it's more the people that I miss. If I could bring those people here, dude, we'd have a blast. So
Because Houston's better, that's why you have a blast. Yeah, right.
I think the landscape of Houston for sure is better. There's more space. Like London feels like a fucking elevator compared to Houston.
Well, I mean,
Houston's
it seems
Houston's like
dreary.
a ballroom.
It seems like it's like a fucking like
It's like a bad vampire movie.
Sweeney
most of the
Todd,
year.
Demon
Yeah.
Barbers
That's why I
on
haven't
Fleet
listened.
Street.
Oh, that's why.
The gloom.
See, there you go.
I love the accents. Hate the gloom.
It's coming out now. But yeah, it is very grey, like grey skies. The weather isn't great. You guys have figured out a way to get the sun close to you guys. I'm very happy about that. Except in August when I first touched down, I was about to fuck off, dude. That sun was too close. But yeah, no, for sure it's the people. But of course, different places have different cultures, and that actually influences the people. And you know, because I'm from London, I get along with people from London a lot easier. And out here, it's a bit more. Sometimes it's not as easy, but that's fine. But yeah, for sure the people but certain things, like for me, I need a place that's less congested. So I think when I establish myself, I'm not sure if I'll live in Houston because the car congestion just drives me up the wall.
Well, if you go out like up north, like in the middle of nowhere, you won't have that problem.
Really? Like where?
Like in Conroe, where I work, there's no traffic there because it's
That's
so
what I
far
need.
away.
I need like less.
No, you.
But then I mean,
not
but then
need to
I'd
go to Conroe.
want to
There's
visit
nothing there.
the
Don't-
nothing there. Yeah, like
right. I'd be coming into the city anyway. Like I do now,
exactly.
so
Like
I'd feel it.
you gotta pick and choose your battles. Like you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't be
I think-
like,
Oh, but you
everything
can.
is lit around here, but ain't nobody coming here, so ain't nobody.
Yeah,
fucking,
exactly.
Like
Damn, that's
You just go
life
hard
is
for Houston
balance,
because you're
bro.
from
you feel me?
Life is
Like
balance.
exactly. But you know what? At the end of the day,
I'm
life
living
still
for it.
rips.
Life does still.
Life still rips.
Yeah, it's all about your mindset. But I'll probably live in some remote fucking place like Peru or some shit like that, where the food is good and I can practice Spanish. I don't know.
The hell? Oh no! Ask her those questions. I wanna.
Oh yeah.
What questions?
We have some
you'll
questions
see.
we ask some
Oh,
guests. You know.
Okay.
So and you gotta
They're like
answer
lightning
these.
round, yeah. So
you
it's
gotta, like,
more just
go. Don't think.
yeah. Let me,
Just go.
yeah.
I can go.
They're not horrible. They're just really really bad.
Hit me. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
So, okay, cool. All right, here we go. Question time. We need like an intro music for this. Anyway,
We'll edit that in.
yeah,
Wait. Insert intro music here.
I can for sure edit it, and it's okay.
I'm just saying, bitch.
Oh, wow. All
This is
right.
why I fucking hate you.
He's trying to be helpful. I'm like, nah.
No.
shut
Like, I
up.
got
you-
this.
Okay,
That
so
was
yeah.
a clap back moment right there because you a hoe.
So lightning round. So I'm gonna ask you questions as soon as you can answer them. I'll roll across. So if you say something embarrassing, it won't matter. I'll ask the next question. Yeah. So good.
Exactly.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Unless it's really embarrassing, I'll pause. Okay.
Oh.
Okay, Carmelita, that's your real name?
Yes, Carmelita, yes.
Have you ever, have you ever received a dick pic?
Of course.
Have you ever cheated on anyone?
Never.
Favorite part of sex?
Oh, God. My favorite part of sex would definitely have to be, like, the magic my body feels when I'm really, like, into somebody. Like, my body feels like electricity. Like, it's not even the climax. It's, like, the experience of sex.
I'm guessing you're like chemistry. You like the chemistry of like how you bond with someone.
Absolutely.
Describe in one word the kind of guy you typically fall for. Yep. Don't take your time.
The kind
Also,
of
don't
guy.
speak close to the mic.
Casper.
That's a ghost.
Right.
White guys. Okay, cool.
That was code for Omari
Like-
Hardwick, ghost.
No,
Like,
it's
it
code
makes
for
sense.
like for whatever reason I have a knack for guys that ghost me.
Oh.
Yeah, you guys both are off.
Got you.
Okay. Weirdest porn you've ever seen but not been turned on by?
So The weirdest porn I've ever seen and not been turned on by? I think it would have to be like, it was an interracial porn and the guy had a really big penis and he was like, he had a line that he always said, like, oh, say you like this black dick or whatever, like you like this nigga dick. And the white girl was like, I love your nigger dick, I love your nigger dick. And it was like, you know what?
I've seen that.
Can't. He was like an older gentleman and it just like, I was pissed after. I was like, you know what? I don't even need this nut. It's fine. I don't need to, you know?
Playing with the N-word in porn, for me as well, is such a turn off.
Right?
But I mean, some people fucking love that shit.
Well,
where are y'all seeing this? I have never in my life seen.
I typed up nigger dick. No.
Like,
it just, I don't know, it just came up.
all right,
it
what's
just happened.
next? It does. You just follow, you know?
Which accent turns you on the most?
Ooh. In real life?
Yeah. What, in movies?
I'm about to say, wait,
Like, it's
What
different?
accent?
Or when dogs have it. That one.
This is embarrassing.
Go on.
oh Lord.
I can't say. Next question. Is there like a shot option?
Is it Zulu?
You already know what the fuck she's gonna say.
Go on, you say it.
I'm not saying it because you a bitch.
Oh, yeah.
That's fine.
Oh, my accent?
Keep going.
Hey!
Yeah,
one for
keep
the Brits.
going.
Okay, so how old were you when you first masturbated?
Elementary school? I don't know the exact age.
When did you lose your virginity?
When I was 19.
First heartbreak.
My first heartbreak. Junior high. My boyfriend, he kissed my cousin after he kissed me. It was very sad.
Same day?
No, it was like the same weekend.
Wow. That
Like
was
we
on a
kissed on
mission.
a Friday and he kissed her on a Sunday and I found out that Monday.
On the
Your
Lord's
crush or
Day?
your boyfriend?
No, he was my real boyfriend. My first boyfriend in the 7th grade and his name was Drake and he had curly hair.
Was it actually Drake?
No, it was a
I was
white
about to
boy.
say, was this Aubrey?
It wasn't
Was
Aubrey
this
Graham.
Aubrey?
No,
Sorry,
this is
sounded like
a
a
white
God
Drake.
damn, he been doing it for a long
Clearly, I'm
time.
still not over it.
Yeah, no, that is kind of fucked up, I'm not gonna lie. One thing you wish you knew growing up?
Then none of this shit matters.
I like that. Word or phrase that you said wrong for far too long?
A word or phrase I've said wrong for far too long.
Like irregardless or what's mine? Or intensive
Fanger.
purpose? Fanger?
Yeah, like
instead of finger?
yes, like I'm like from like hillbilly Ohio, right? And so as opposed to
Oh.
saying finger, like I'll slip and I'll be like my fingers. It'll come out sometimes, but I try to be really like, you know.
Just like there, it'll come out sometimes.
Anyway,
But
next.
that's like more of an accent thing. That makes sense. Dinner with anyone in the entire world. Who would it be?
Oprah.
Why?
Why Oprah?
Yeah.
Because I feel like she's just the bombest person in the world. Like
She's pretty bomb.
she is just all about intention and she has mastered her love for whatever she does and she puts intention behind it and she does it. And like just her story I think is amazing and like her failures turn to triumphs. Like literally she didn't know she had a knack for like she got demoted and became like a TV talk show host and then became like the most epic TV talk show host in the world. And so she has her own like just everything she does and the way that she like reaches back to connect to other people. And yeah, so definitely Oprah.
I like those stories that come from people like being put down by or people not believing in them.
Absolutely.
And then they get like demoted in some way or another and then they just rise like the phoenix. What triggers you?
Being ignored.
Well, you are like me.
That
What-
is so. Never mind.
Which is interesting because ghosts.
I was just about to say that, like, it's so hypocritical, like,
No,
Wait,
but
how's it hypocritical?
because that is the guy you chase after, but that's.
she doesn't chase after them because they
It's-
ghost her,
no.
but they just tend to ghost her.
It just happens. I don't look for this shit. They're just like, peace out.
Yeah.
So you don't think it's almost like.
There might be something like the chicken and the egg kind of thing. Like,
Which is first?
But, I mean, what? The chicken or the egg?
well, there might be like something to it, like because it's
No.
an insecurity of ours, we
It's
somehow
Maybe I'm,
human
like,
condition.
manifesting this
It's
shit.
it's human nature, not human condition. Human nature to want what you can't have. So if somebody ghosts you, it's like, damn, like that's why I said there could be some type of connection there.
Well, I don't know about your case, but in my case, as recently, it's more of just the females that I've happened to be interested in have ghosted me. It's not like when they ghosted me, then
Why do you think
I
they're
go back
ghosting?
for
Do you
them.
think you're maybe too anxious or too like into it because you're into them
The
versus
the
the
last
other
one?
chicks? You're more so kind of on the back burner, like it is what it is.
I mean, the last one was like, I was really cool. So I don't know, but there's something to that. I think with a lot of people, like when you are into someone, you're more likely to not be so cool and not show your best self and be a bit more antsy and maybe come off as desperate and clingy. But the last one was, I was so cool. But because I was so cool, I didn't even have a problem with it. Like she ghosted me and I was like, I guess that's what it is. I'll just move on to the next. Because I didn't think back and think, oh, what did I do wrong? Because I was fucking, I killed it, man. I crushed it. But it just happened like it didn't.
You did what?
I crushed it, man.
Oh, okay.
I fucking got that egg. But it just so happened that she wasn't interested. So after a while,
there's a balance.
It's weird.
There's a I feel like there's a balance when it comes to stuff like that.
In that case, it really didn't feel that way.
No, but I'm saying like, to me at least, the best relationships happen to be a balance. Like as far as like,
what's the balance?
You can't be like. At first you have to be like just kind of like it is what it is, this, that, and the other, and then once there's some mutual like type of ground and interest and whatnot,
then
you kind of start to become closer, whatever, and then there's that mutual thirst.
Yeah,
and then that's.
But here's the thing: there was mutual thirst, and then ghost,
and they disappear.
Was it really thirst then? Because if you thirst for somebody,
I can show you some messages.
Right, like the thing, it's not that it's like there are any like warning signs. It's like the chemistry can be bomb as fuck. Like the sex epic, and then you go fucking ghost. I don't understand it.
I mean, I don't know. I've never had that happen.
Look at you.
Chemistry was great. The sex was bomb as fuck, and the person just fuck that nigga. Like,
well, it's not. It's just like stop responding.
Definitely not. Like it was something. It was some type of factor.
We'll
I think sometimes people aren't really into you for whatever reason. Like it's not that deep. You know?
They're not really into you. We just talked about them being really into you.
As in like there's thirst, but it's like you start to get closer and closer, and I guess you start to engage. Like you realize if there's someone that you really see for the real long term, or if it's just surface level. And maybe sometimes people overcompensate when it's just surface level and they want to find something and they realize once there's that mutual kind of thirst, I guess you want to call it, that they don't actually really feel that way underneath.
I don't know. Like I said, I've never had that happen, so.
It happens. I think, it's happened to me for someone else, but I don't ghost. I try to be as upfront as I can.
Oh, I definitely send exit texts.
Yeah. Because it's like...
Well, that's good. So both of y'all offer closure.
Yeah.
Because I'm not an asshole.
And because you know what it's like to be on the other end.
And I'm like, yeah, for sure. I don't want my karma to come back and be like,
this one you're going to like. So if you wrote a book about your life... All right. What would the most compelling chapter be about? Carmalita.
The most compelling chapter of my life.
Houston.
Well, we don't know yet. This might be a very short chapter, Charlie.
You know what? It's like. God.
Dude, I didn't even mean
that. Can fly across the room so magically.
I'm weak.
I didn't even mean that one.
That's what I'm saying. You find every opportunity you fucking can.
Oh my god, that was a 2-for-1 special, huh? Oh.
It's all good.
Took you to Denny's. Okay. So yeah, the most compelling chapter. Were you gonna say something? Doesn't matter. The most compelling chapter, sorry.
Let's see. I think the most compelling chapter would probably be whatever my current chapter is, because I think in this moment everything is like clicking for me. Like I began writing a book in grad school, and it was a lot about like my childhood and the trauma that I experienced and like overcoming that, but it always felt like unfinished. But it was because I had to heal from all of that thing, all that stuff. And so it's like in the last 3 years, like when I chose to exit my marriage and salvage the friendship with my ex-husband as opposed to salvaging my marriage, it's like that's when things started clicking for me. And so now I'm like, oh, all of this stuff happened for a reason. And now seeing like my life like be in alignment, like the fact that I'm working at a nonprofit that caters towards domestic violence and rape victims. And I've been a victim and also like someone who has witnessed domestic violence growing up. And so it's like everything right now is like aligning for me. So I feel like that's the compelling part where it's like nothing happened by happenstance. It's all like for a reason. Like I'm here, I accidentally moved to Houston for a reason. Like I never thought I would leave LA, like not long term, but the fact that like everything is just clicking for me now, I feel like that would be the most compelling because it's like, all right, this shit really does happen for a reason. Like
God's plan.
For sure.
That's cool. Yeah, everything like circled back. Okay. If you could make out with anyone in the world for 5 minutes, who would it be?
So there's this guy he's like a model on Instagram and his name is Leon Gray.
Good. Is that his name on Instagram?
Yes, he's like, I don't know if he's Jamaican or like Caribbean, but he has an accent and he has these long dreads and like green eyes and an amazing body. And if I could, yeah, it'd be him. Are you looking him up right now?
Yeah, I couldn't find him. I'll search him afterwards. That's the last question. Oh, I guess we can play this extra segment. All right,
Bonus
so this
round.
is called Me or Not Me. So you say me if it's you, if it's something that you do, or something that you relate to, and not me if it's not.
Fabulous.
Okay. Looks out for yourself.
Me.
DIY.
Me.
Competitive.
Not me.
Practical.
Ish.
On the fence?
On the fence for sure.
Plans ahead.
Not me as fuck.
Really?
I don't
Spontaneous then.
Yeah.
Mediator.
Me.
Are you a middle child?
I was raised as the youngest, so no.
I mean, I'm the youngest. Oh, yeah. It's more the youngest as the mediator, to be honest. I'm the youngest. I'm a mediator. Likes change.
Not me.
Maybe that's why she hates Houston. Sure of my performance.
Me.
Neat and tidy.
Fuck no. Not me.
Traditional.
Not at all. Not me.
Me first.
Absolutely me.
Procrastination.
Not me.
Relentless.
Me.
Takes criticism well.
Not me.
Being a silly goose.
Absolutely. Me for sure.
Yeah. Has to prove my point.
Me.
Sensitive.
Me.
Perfectionist.
Not me.
Risk taker.
Me.
Drained by people.
Fuck yes, me.
And calm in the storm.
Calm in the storm?
Calm in the storm.
No, I'm the fucking storm.
Oh. X-Man.
I was totally storm for Halloween one year too.
Oh, blimey. I've actually never dressed up for
Did you just say blimey?
Yeah, I'm British, you know.
I never heard you say blimey before.
There you go.
Oh, Lord.
For the first time on the podcast, blimey.
Wait, how did you guys meet?
We met in college.
Yeah, TSU.
Your dog doesn't like that. She doesn't like that you guys met in college.
She doesn't like TSU. But yeah, we got to close it out because I got to leave like 10 minutes ago. So that was the podcast episode with Carmelita. Thank you for being on the show. That was really cool.
Thank you for enunciating my name properly.
Thank you.
Yeah, I try.
Could you tell everybody one more time where they can find you?
You can mostly find me on Instagram. That's Carmafornia, C-A-R-M-A, Fornia, like California, but Carmafornia. And if you're really interested in reading my articles, you can Google me. That's Huffington Post, Carmelita Jackson. And then an Invoke article, Carmelita Wilson. My name is spelled C-A-R-M-A-L-I-T-A. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Once again, like I said, R.I.P. to Kobe and the others who lost their lives Sunday. You guys, make sure, before I go, I just want to say, shit doesn't matter sometimes. Just make sure you tell people you appreciate them, you love them. And, yeah, just go out there, live your life, and don't sweat the small shit. You guys have a blessed day, night, whatever it is for y'all. Thank you for listening to us. Peace.
Peace.
Bad bitches in my celly. Anime on the telly. Getting cheese, I like lettuce, bread, and I'm stuck.